Good day everyone, I'm Margie Lotrago, Bless 3E. I am going to discuss Chapter 4, Survey Research and Sampling. The survey is a group of research methods commonly used to determine the present status of a given phenomenon.
Survey research. The word survey literally means to look at or to see over or beyond, or, in other words, to observe. Observations made during the course of a survey are not limited to those of the physical type, however, and techniques commonly used for collecting survey data will be considered later. Major differences between survey research and other methods.
As has been noted, survey research has characteristics common to most other research methods, but at the same time, it exhibits certain important differences.
Types of survey studies.
1. Exploratory surveys. Literature surveys or reviews are in some respects exploratory in nature in that they often focus on developing hypotheses based on previous research that may suggest further.
Specific kinds of exploratory research surveys include 1. Literature surveys. 2. Experience surveys. 3. Analysis of insight-stimulating examples.
2. Analytical and descriptive surveys, a second general type of survey, but one that is seldom labeled as such in the literature, is the analytical survey. Other types of surveys.
1. Cross-sectional study. A typical survey, such as a Gallup poll, designed to measure one or more phenomena across a sample representative of the population, or a whole. 2. Trend study. A survey conducted over a period of time so as to measure trends, patterns, or changes. 3. Cohort study. A survey conducted in order to collect data from the same population more than once. 4. Panel study. A survey designed to collect data from the same sample of subjects, often over time. 5. Approximation of a longitudinal study. An attempt to simulate a true longitudinal study by asking people to recall past behavior and activities. 6. Parallel sample study. A survey of separate samples regarding the same research problem. 7. Contextual study. A survey of a person's environment, conducted so as to learn more about the person. 8. Sociometric study. A comprehensive survey of more than one group, including the interrelationships among the groups. 9. Critical incident study. An in-depth examination of a specific event or activity rather than a broad survey of many occurrences, similar to the analysis of insight-stimulating examples described. Basic purposes of descriptive surveys. The basic purposes of descriptive surveys usually are to describe characteristics of the population of interest, estimate proportions in the population, make specific predictions, and test associational relationships. Basic steps of survey research, an overview. 1. Formulating objectives. In selecting the method and in designing the techniques to be employed, one must consider the objectives of the study, or how data will be used. 2. Selecting data collection techniques. Having selected the method, e.g., survey, historical, experimental, the next basic step is to select or design the specific technique or techniques to be used to collect the necessary data. 3. Selecting the sample. Another activity to be treated at some length later is the selection of the sample, a necessary step for all surveys based on portions of a population. 4. Collecting the data. Having selected an appropriate data collection tool and the sample to which it will be applied, the next basic step is to collect the data. 5. Analyzing and interpreting the results. The process of analyzing the data gathered basically involves coding the responses, or placing each item in the appropriate category, more on this later, tabulating the data, and performing appropriate statistical computations. 6. Survey research designs. The most straightforward type of survey research is descriptive, and it is designed to ensure that the sample is reasonably representative of the population to which the researcher wishes to generalize, and that the relevant characteristics have been accurately measured. Survey research costs. Survey research tends to be relatively inexpensive, at least if the sample or population being surveyed is not large, but it is still often desirable to reduce the costs. Sampling.
As was indicated earlier, sampling is often one of the most crucial steps in survey research.
Basic terms and concepts.
Before considering some standard techniques of sampling, it is important to have an understanding of the following basic terms and concepts related to sampling. 1. Universe. 2. Population. 3. Population stratum. 4. Element. 5. Census. 6. Sample. 7. Case. 8. Sampling frame.
Types of sampling methods.
1. Non-probability sampling. 2. Accidental sample. 3. Quota sample. 4. Snowball sample. 5. Purposive sample. 6. Self-selected sample. 7. Incomplete sample. 8. Probability sampling. 9. Simple random sample. SRS. 10. Selecting the simple random sample. 11. Systematic sample. 12. Random sample. 13. Cluster sample.
Determining the sample size.
The general rule of thumb for the size of the sample is, quite simply, the larger the better.
Use of formulas.
Statistical formulas have been developed for calculating appropriate sample sizes.
Non-sampling error.
The information gathered from a sample can be inaccurate not only as a result of the inaccuracy or the lack of representativeness of the sample, but also errors of measurement.
That's all for this chapter. Thank you and God bless.